Hello, I'm Professor Tara and welcome to my lab. It's somewhere hidden in the Rolla Public Library, that big brick building on Pine Street in Rolla, Missouri. Are you having fun with the summer reading program? I hope so. Let's do some more science activities. This week is all about Missouri animals, and we're calling it Show Me Mo Animals, which we're in the Show Me state. So, what are some animals that live in Missouri? Some clues are in your grab and go bag, so I hope you've picked that up from the library. If you need to, pause the video and go get your activity bag and we'll look at all the stuff together. Okay, now in your activity bag you will see a skewer. You'll get a package of clay. You'll get a little plastic mold. You will have some handouts, the directions, and on the back of directions you'll have a river otter you can color. You're going to have an animal chart, and so when animals poop out in the wild, scientists and ecologists call that scats. This is animal scat identification chart. So if you ever go hiking or camping with your family and you come across some of these signs of the other animals in the area, you can identify it. On the other side, you'll be able to identify different animals that have been through the area. So some of the animals in Missouri we have white-tailed deer, coyote, porcupine, turkey, bear, otter, bobcat, duck, and rabbit. We talked about bobcats a little bit during Cat Week, about how their eyes are different from ours. Now, at a beach or maybe on a muddy day, have you ever looked at your footprint? If you're barefoot, you can see the outline of your toes. If you're wearing shoes, you can see the outline of your shoe. Well, just like us, animals leave tracks. And so for this activity, we're going to make a wildlife track keepsake. So from home, you're going to need towels, paper towels, or napkins. You're going to need vegetable oil, but not this much. Just a little bit, like a few drops. Okay. So what we're going to do is first you can take your cloth, dip it a little bit into the oil, and we're going to line our tray with the oil. Have you ever watched someone make cookies, or maybe you make cookies or baked? So the oil is what keeps the stuff from sticking, and we're putting the oil in the tray so our clay won't stick. Okay. So on your bag, you'll see there's a couple of little notches or perforations. That's where you'll tear at. And then there's another baggie, and this is our clay. Trying to figure out. I was able to tear it, but you can use scissors if you need to. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is like, I don't know if you've ever had taffy. Look, it's like, oh, it stinks. It's like really, it's like there's air in it. You can hear it. So it feels like spongy taffy. You can hear the air bubbles. That's kind of cool. Alright, so let's look at our directions. So we've got the oil in the mold. Now we're going to roll this clay in our hands. we're going to make a ball. Right? You can even, if you have a clean surface, you can roll it on the clean surface. Now you want the surface clean because when you roll this on the surface, it'll pick up like the dirt. It'll pick up like pieces of a fuzz, whatever, and you don't want your commemorative animal tracks to look gross, right? Okay. Even though we know animals are messy. Okay. So now we're going to put this in our tray and spread it out. You want to go start in the middle and push out like that to get an even spread. Don't want to push too much in the middle and make it thin. You want this to be even, because that way it'll dry evenly. If you have some super thick parts, it'll stay mushy longer and it won't dry properly. If you have super thin parts, it'll get crumbly as it dries. Now with this type of clay, it's gonna stay soft. It's not gonna get completely hard, right? So you're gonna want to be gentle with this once you finish making it. Hey, look, I'm leaving fingerprints. Okay, now I'm going to use the heel of my hand, and we're going to try to, I'm going to see if I can use this to maybe smooth it out to get my fingerprints out. That may not be that easy. You're welcome to try other things, like if you have a little spatula to try to get your fingerprints out. That's up to you. It just depends on how particular you want to be. Okay. I'm going to try just kind of smoothing it with my fingers a little bit. And if you have any of the clay coming over the top, or not quite up to the edge, just try to even it out. Like I said, it just depends on how particular you want about making it pretty. But you do want to try to get it even, so it'll dry evenly. Okay, now let's look at our animal tracks. So, you'll pick an animal you want to. You might do a bear. Maybe you'll do an otter. I think I'm going to try an otter. Okay. Oh, you'll notice too, because a lot of animals walk on all fours, like their back foot might be smaller than their front foot, and so you can tell when they put their front foot leaves the track and then the back foot leaves the track. You know what? I think I'm going to try the deer. So we're going to start with kind of a they almost look like two little horn shapes. Oh, you know what? See, I'm glad we're doing this together. So what happened was this clay is so soft, I accidentally made my pattern all the way through the clay. We don't want to do that. So you want to press gently, just enough to make an imprint. So let me try that again. Just gently glide your skewer You don't want to go all the way down to the mold, the plastic mold. So, and of course, these tracks aren't going to be the same size as the animal, right? These are just examples. But you know what? If you're out of the park or you are out hiking somewhere and you see some animal tracks, hey, take a picture, share it on the Rolla Facebook. Okay. So, I think I'm going to make these deer tracks a little bit deeper. There we go. I don't know if they will show up on the camera or not. You know what? I'm going to put a tiny little bird tracks in here too. Ooh. Maybe a little bird pass through. Okay. Next, you want this clay to dry overnight in the mold. And the next day, you carefully remove this plaque. Once it dries, it becomes a plaque from the mold, and lay it face down on a paper towel to let it dry. And then when the backside's dry, and the plaque is dry on both sides, it'll still be a little pliable, so you want to be careful with it. Then if you have any paints at home or you have permanent markers, you can actually decorate this and color in the prints a little more. Now if you pick up your creepy crawly activity bag, no, not the activity bag. If you pick up the Creepy Crawly Week Storytime bag, you'll be getting paints with the snake. So you could save some of those paints maybe, and then you could decorate this and fill in the animal tracks. Okay, if you would like to know more about Missouri animals, visit the Missouri Conservation Agency website. And we also have magazines here about wildlife and books about different animals that live here in Missouri. So I hope you have fun safely exploring. Remember, leave the animals alone. You wouldn't want someone coming up and picking at you. So give them their space if you see an animal in the wild. And enjoy exploring.